All right, I'm Bobby, and this is Rob, and we're back to debunk another common texting myth. And these are myths, sort of urban legends that guys follow. It's sort of become or ingrained in the way most men communicate with women over text, and a lot of it is just flat out wrong. So today we want to talk about the next sort of myth, and that's that idea that the way you start a conversation with a girl via text, or the way you continue a conversation with a girl via text, is the same way you would in person. And this is completely sort of destroying a lot of guys' ability to create fun vibes with women. Talk a little bit about that, Rob.
Yeah, now this is something that's very counterintuitive, and it's not the way you would approach, texting a girl. But when you have your phone in your hand and you're getting ready to send off that text message, you have to think from the perspective of communicating through text. Keep in mind, this is not a conversation. This is not an in-person meeting. There's different sort of, mindsets and, just ways to approach texting a girl that you would not necessarily apply when you're actually out having a conversation with her. And one of the most important things to remember is that there's absolutely no need for pleasantries, small talk, greetings. All that gets thrown out the window on text. You don't need this. Your first text should not be, "Hey, what's up?" That's just a pointless text. It's funny. That's the way my dad. That's what my dad, kind of text my dad sends, like, "Hi." My dad sent me a text a couple weeks ago, "Hi." And I just looked at it and I'm just like, oh, he just doesn't get it. And the thing is that a lot of guys will send text to girls like, "Hey, hope you got home safe," or, "Oh, how was your day today?" And what her reaction is exactly like my reaction was to my dad. Like, why are you sending me this? This is no relevance at all to anything. So, the way you would greet your friends or even a girl that you might meet for the first time is not the way you are sending text messages. The way you want to send a text message is you want to start in the middle of the conversation. You call it in media res.
In media res or fast forward opening.
And yeah, that's a great way to look at it. Like you want to hit the ground running with this girl. So and I actually pulled out my phone just the first conversation I brought up here was this girl who I said, this is my first text to her. Keep in mind, this is a girl I met out at a bar. Maybe I met her for 15 minutes. We got a drink together. We made out a little bit. I took her number. And the first text now I'm sending her is, "I just had a life-changing cup of coffee. Hope you're having a good morning too." Now, that has a little bit of the niceties and pleasantries, "Hope you're having a good morning too." But the first thing I'm saying to her is that I had a life-changing cup of coffee. And it's sort of just like a jokey little flirty remark, just a sort of commentary on my day that starts the conversation right in the middle. Rather than having to go through "Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up with you? So what are you up to today? I just had a cup of coffee." I'm jumping right in, and that's immediately how I'm beginning this interaction.
Let me just say something. I just want to, because you talked about that your dad sending you the "Hey, how's it going?" text. And one of the sort of most devastating, critically, hurtful things about sending a girl a text like that is that it makes her think too much. So she gets this text, and how many times have you gotten a text and it's like, "Hey, what's up?" Or "How's your day?" And you're just like, what the hell do I write to this text? And you don't have a good response, your day's not, and you're like, and you just put your phone away and you're like, "I'll answer that later," because you didn't give her anything to go with. You just kind of you put all this burden on her. It's kind of like when you start a conversation with somebody in the elevator and you're like, "Hey, how's your day going?" And then they kind of look at you like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" Because you just put all this pressure on them to come up with something to say. And when you send a girl that, "Hey, how's your day going?" or "What are you up to?" it's making her think too much, and she doesn't want to have to think. It's just she doesn't want to use that part of her brain. She wants to just laugh and kind of have something immediately to say to you. And that's what sort of Rob's text does, is he just gave her a perfect opening. He mentioned a cup of coffee. He gave her something that she can either put her phone back away and not respond, but he didn't put the burden on her to respond. Even if she didn't respond, he still wins because he got the message to her. He kind of put a smile on her face, and that was sort of good enough for what he wanted in that situation.
Yeah, and also, too, it tells a lot more about your personality and who you are when you're texting stuff that has relevance. Anyone can write a text, "Hey, what's up?" This says nothing about your personality. She has no sense of who you are. She doesn't remember the guy that you are. She doesn't have a favorable, vision of what you're like when you send a text like that. But whereas, you know, you might send, and again, you might not send a text that says, hey, I had a life-changing cup of coffee. I mean, that's not for everyone. But if you text something that is congruent to you and your identity, and you write something that's funny or quirky or interesting, and you send it to her, and she sees that, she gets a very clear sense of who you are, and that's ultimately like the best natural aphrodisiac you have at your fingertips is by displaying your unique personality in as quick, or you know, as soon as possible. And you're doing that by starting the conversation right in the middle.
The good part, I like to say, start at the part that's the most interesting, the most fun, the part where you feel most comfortable at, and it's going to make her feel those same emotions you're feeling when you started. If you start off in the awkward stage of a relationship of, hey, this is Bobby, I met you the other day at the bar, how's it going today? You're starting back in awkwardness. Jump through that and talk to her as if you're already in that phase of being with her, that you're already good friends, that you're already like, you know, in a relationship, and that's how she's going to respond back to you. Now, that was today's myth. Now, tomorrow we got a good one for you. So make sure you check the email inbox tomorrow, because we are going to debunk a common myth about setting up a date over text. If you're finding that you're not getting girls to actually meet up with you over text, it's probably because you're completely blowing it when it comes time to asking her out on a date. So check your inbox tomorrow, and we are going to radically debunk the common myth.